Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bound. Today we are looking at the MIG29 Sniper, the new premium from the Italian tree. MIG29 Sniper, very similar to the USSR and German MiG-29s, the only difference being, as far as I'm aware, that this thing has an upgraded RWR system, which is actually a very welcome change. Being able to discern where those radar missiles are coming from, very valuable. So what do we need to know about the MiG-29? It is exceptionally fast. This thing is extremely quick on the deck. It accelerates fantastically. It's capable in a dogfight. It doesn't have much ammunition in its gun, but it is usable. The missile loadout is where things get interesting on this plane. We have two R-27ERs, and that's where 99% of the killing power for this plane is going to come from for you. These missiles are extremely potent, and as long as you're using them correctly, you're going to pick up 2 kills per game. The R60 MKs that you get, however, are not so great. At this battle rating, everybody tends to have a lot of flares, and these things will guzzle down flares like ducks guzzling down glizzies. So you need to be focusing primarily on using your R27ERs to take people out early in the game, and then kind of holding on to these and hoping that you can get right on someone's 6, or ideally use them on someone who's completely unaware of your presence. Ultimately, I enjoyed my time playing the MiG-29 Sniper. It suffers from the same problems that the other MiG-29s do in the Russian and German trees. The addition of the new RWR is very welcome, but ultimately your killing power comes from those R27s, and once you don't have them, it puts you in such a difficult spot. The R60s, while you have 4 of them, they're flared so easily. And I find myself, once I had fired my 2 missiles, often in a difficult situation. I do manage to get away from people using the extreme speed, and the plane is very fun to fly, but is it particularly newbie friendly, especially as an addition straight to rank 8 RRB 12.7? I don't know. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it, but it'll be tough for someone who was just introduced to the game. One last thing before I go, guys. Thank you so much for the response to the last video on the F2A. It was really positive. Really appreciated that. Please do drop a like, a comment, a subscribe if you do enjoy this content. It'll keep me making more. That's enough of me yapping. Enjoy the games. Fly safe. Before we get into the games proper, I just wanted to show off the sheer ridiculousness of how powerful these R-27ER missiles can be. I'm not exaggerating when I say that it's kind of a 1 or 2 guaranteed kills per game if you use them correctly. Here we've got a high altitude F-18, we're launching in a side aspect, and honestly, were it not for our teammate killing this guy, we would have got the kill. However, our teammate does pick up the kill, so what we do is we quickly retarget someone else on the enemy team. As you can see, this wasn't exactly ideal. I've ended up targeting someone who's flying around on the deck, another 14 kilometers away. You wouldn't expect, really, the missile to be able to manage this. Not only is this guy near multipathing height, but he's also going really quick a long way from us, and yet the R-27 still connects. It has no problem catching up to him and hitting him. It's just a small demonstration of just how powerful these missiles are. You really shouldn't underestimate them, and if you ever are in that situation where you launch a missile off and your target dies, just remember to give the missile a chance, double check, see if you can target somebody else, and then hold you to see if the missile is tracking. You'll be amazed how many kills you can pick up this way, and it's very nice when you can get it. So here we are on game 1. This is the Falklands map, and it's a slight down tier, which is the ideal situation for us in this plane. We're taking a passive line, staying fairly high and to the left, about 2,500 meters. And we're just scouting out the enemy team, trying to figure out what's going on with our TWS, and watching how our team engages, and then hoping that we can swoop in and rat ourselves a few kills. As the engagement starts to evolve, we're spotting a couple of likely targets. This F4S approaching us here, he's probably base bombing, and he could be an easy target for our 60s. I hold off launching for a little while here and try to accelerate as much as I can before I fire. The R60s, along with their other problems with flares, also they really don't have the best range. If an enemy's accelerating away from you, you'll find that they often don't catch up. I'm not quite sure if the F4S here flares or if our missile just can't reach him, but either way, we don't connect and sadly we don't get the kill, and I have to move on to other targets. As we turn around, we see an F4S making himself very vulnerable to a potential R27 shot. We send it out, he can't get back down to multipath height in time, and he gets slammed, no problem. Again, these missiles just so good. They are where your killing power comes from. Speeding along the deck, we see a Mirage getting chased by an enemy F4S. Again, we're going to try and R60 him. I don't have much faith in these missiles at all, so I tend to use them fairly freely. 1.2 kilometers though, and if he doesn't flare, that's going to hit him, and bang, we get ourselves a nice little R60 kill. Beautiful. And we even get a thank you from the Mirage. Always nice when your teammates say thanks. Make sure you say thanks if someone ever saves you. So as we turn around, we can see another sortie evolving in front of us. We see an F-16 and a couple of F4Ss fighting some of our teammates. This F-16 exposes himself by going quite high. And this again is kind of a perfect example of how you should use these R27s. As soon as you see someone give themselves a little bit too much room between safety at multipath height. Get that missile off at them, even 6, 7, 8 kilometers, they're not going to have time to get down. The R-27s, on top of all of their other advantages, they travel so fast. They'll be inside the enemy's plane faster than a fat man could get inside an all-you-can-eat buffet. We get the R-60 off of the F-4S, sadly it misses. We take some gunshots as well, but we're just off. So we continue, we decide to commit to this and turn around. On reflection, I shouldn't have taken this rather risky line. There's a lot of F-4Ss on the enemy team. I could have easily got sparrowed here. Thankfully we don't. Our teammate continues to dogfight down below us. The F-4S is not paying any attention to us down here. We're just going to post ourselves nicely on his 6. I hold off firing the R-60. I'm too concerned about either it easily getting flared or hitting my teammate. The gun solution is there anyway. We pepper him, we get the severe. The F-4S is going down. The rest of this game fairly uneventful for us. There was a couple of F4s left. They got taken out by our team. We leave with 4 kills. Here we are with game number 2, taking a slightly unusual line on the city map. I've had a surprising amount of success recently just coming down these central streets and kind of getting into a position in the middle / slightly behind the enemy team. And you can work your way in from there. We send an R-60 at this Mirage. It doesn't connect. We see an F5 coming in, so we get another missile ready. I'm using these R-60s kind of just in the vague hope of a connection. I'm not expecting them to do anything, but we get a little bit lucky here. The F5 takes the hit. This trajectory has put us straight into the path of the enemy team who swung left at the start of the game, which is quite a lot of them a lot of the time. We see these 2 enemies staying fairly high. This is a bit of an optimistic R-27, but he gets away from the multipath from the hill. Gets himself slammed. Those missiles, again, just coming in so hard. We push further in, we see another target. Thankfully, he's not launching at us, so we can send another R-27 and get ourselves another guaranteed kill. Those missiles can pull so hard, so fast. Easy peasy. As I'm turning around to give chase, I hear another plane, and I know on my minimap that there's someone pretty much on R6. He must have been behind the 2 guys that we just engaged. I decide that this is probably a prudent time to keep our speed up and dip, and here we can see the MiG-29's prodigious speed coming into effect. It gets us away from the combat very quickly. It's a MiG-21 Bison that's on our tail, potentially a very dangerous foe. He's got some very nasty missiles, R-27 Rs and R-73s, so he's got worse radar missiles but better infrared missiles than us. However, we're in the much more performant plane, so we're going to take him in this kind of upward spiral here, and I'm going to bleed that Bison of energy like I'm bleeding a stuck pig. Up we go. We flip over. You can see we've already developed a tremendous amount of position on this gentleman. We're bringing it down, we're bringing it round. At this point, he's going to need a teammate to intervene, or he's going to need to get a very lucky overshoot, and he's going to require me to miss an awful lot of my shots. Lucky for him, I'm feeling generous. I managed to miss a whole lot of easy shots. I even fire a missile off, which was never ever going to hit in a million years. We follow him around. We're keeping that radar gun sight on him to give us the best hope of getting the shot here. Maybe I should have turned it off. Sometimes it can be a bit misleading, but eventually we do get the kill. We take him to pieces. And that's kill 4. What follows now is a small lesson in paying attention to your surroundings and not getting absorbed or distracted by how great your score is. Start moving towards the center of the map. We see 2 Su-33s. We're trying to work out how many enemies are left and admiring our score once again. We don't notice the MiG-23 coming in hot. He fires a missile off us. I do not flare in time, and I eat it to the face just like I deserve. Game 3 sees us flying in on the left on rocky pillars. We've seen quite a few targets down below moving through the giant rock dongs, so we're going to move in and see if we can pick some of them apart with the R-27s. We notice this tornado moving kind of towards us, and he's busy engaging other targets. This could be a good opportunity to launch one. He pitches up, big mistake, the missile connects. Come round, we've got this Yak 141. He does exactly the same thing, pitches up, he's targeting someone above me, he makes himself an easy target and he gets slammed. It's a good note for yourself. If you know that the enemy plane that you're facing is carrying R-27s, don't do this, because you're basically putting yourself in an impossible position where you won't be able to defend. We noticed this MiG-21 Bison flying through the canyon earlier, and he's kind of separated himself from the pack. The game is pretty much over at this point. Our team has really stomped the enemy team. As is typical in RRB, things do kind of run away with themselves after the first few kills. I'd like to think we played a part in that with our early R-27 hits. The Bison clearly trying to bait us into a bit of a canyon run here. I'm not sure what his plan is. Either way, we send an R-60 at him. He's not paying enough attention. He's focused way too hard on how he's flying. Get the crit. I was convinced he was going to slam into the wall here, so I didn't even try to get guns on. It was a mistake. He goes up. We kind of have to roll away there. I'm slightly concerned that I am going to overshoot. And then our teammate decides to finish him off, giving us the assist instead of the kill. Slightly frustrating, but the target's down. That's what matters. We get a radar lock from a Mirage here. He's probably firing a 530F at us. Easy enough to defend. Get 90 degrees, pop a couple of chaff. That thing isn't going to be following us anymore. Come around. We've got potential shot for the R60 here, but this guy's firing his flares very, very diligently. Good for him. My missile doesn't stand a chance of tracking him here. Again, we make a very poor line here. I should have gone up or stuck in the horizontal rather than trying to dip him down there, because I realized too late that the canyon is there and I'm just going to slam into it. We lock him up with the radar. We send our R60. We don't think it's going to hit. Use the radar gun sight, and we get a very nice little snipe here. Off goes his wing. Very nice. At this point, the rest of the village idiots swoop in to shoot me a little bit. There's nothing more deadly than one of your teammates, never forget that. And we finish the game with a respectable 3 kills and 1 assist. Game 4 is a short one, but an interesting one in my opinion. We've got this guy travelling along at low altitude. We're way up at 6,000 meters. I'm not quite sure why I decided to fly so high this game. Sometimes I just get it into my head that I want to go up. I'm thinking I can drop down and get an easy R60 kill on this guy. He's speeding along on the deck. He probably doesn't even know I'm here from the cloud cover. I don't notice the F-18 locking us up at first, but when the radar warning starts screaming that we've got a missile out, I do notice, and I turn into the notch nice and quickly. We chaff a couple of times. It should be a Sparrow, and it should be easy enough to defend as long as we maintain our notch. And there we go, we lose the missile. So now I'm kind of concerned about dealing with the F-18 that just fired at us, because he clearly is gunning for us. I'm looking for him right now. And as we come round, we do briefly see him here travelling upwards into the clouds. And then we see another F-18 appear instantly. I was definitely confused at this point, and I thought perhaps this is the guy that shot at me, so I decided to drop down him an R60 as I originally planned. For some reason, this guy doesn't defend at all and eats the missile. However, I'm still getting RWR pings from the F-18. I'm looking around trying to spot him, and I can also hear him at this point very faintly as well. And then here he is, dropping down on our heads. At this point, all I'm thinking about is defending against the gunfire. We move, we maneuver as best we can. We're not going very fast, and he does catch us on the nose. However, we still seem to be functional, and we still seem to have good control of the plane. We're able to flip it over and potentially get a shot on him here. The clouds are under my R60's useless. We both pass each other taking shots, but no hits either. As I'm going down and he's flying directly up, I'm thinking it's time to regain a little bit of speed. Let's create some separation here, and potentially we can use our R27s to end this fight. He's going very, very slow at this point. The F-18 bleeds energy like a champion, and we really do accelerate so well. Look at us, look at the amount of distance we've managed to create here. He's firing missiles at us. We've got plenty of flares for now. We're okay. We're just going to stay low in case he does send another Sparrow at us. See an opportunity here to catch him with the R27, so we swing it around, we fire. But this F-18, he's smarter than the average bear, because he sends a Sparrow at us. We managed to multipath it, thankfully, but he does exactly the same thing. He dips behind that terrain. Very well played. So now this fight's really interesting. We both turn around looking for the guns. I kick it out using the AOA mode. Sadly, we just miss the nice little shot there. That would have been particularly delicious. We continue to slam the elevator. We note the Mirage over there fighting our teammate. Let's hope our teammate can keep him busy enough so he doesn't cause a problem for us. Now we're continuing in the rate here, and it looks like we're starting to gain a bit of position, and I think our friend in the F-18 knows it. We nearly get guns on again here, just shy of the shot. So we continue to pull round and round, and he's going vertical now. I think he's realised it's last chance saloon time. He's probably smashing that AOA button himself. Got the gun radar and we fire. He catches us a little bit, but we give him the severe. However, sadly our teammate did not keep the Mirage busy. I thought that was a really fun fight, and I wanted to share it with you guys. GG. Game 5 sees us on Volcano Valley, which I always thought sounded more like a Mario Kart track than a War Thunder match, but either way, our team seems to be folding pretty hard over in the middle. I've taken a fairly passive line to the left as per usual, and I think by the time I actually make it to the fight, we're about 4 men down. And as I make my way around the outskirts of the fight, possibly to engage these two F-18s, I notice an F4S up high. I mean, you know what we're going to do. We're going to send an R27 at him, and unless he defends very, very well, that's going to slap him in the face. We have a lot of trouble in front of us. There is 4 enemy targets currently chasing our teammate there. We see an opportunity for an R60 here, but sadly he's going too fast. He's too close to us. We need very narrowly flare the AIM-9L, I believe, that came from that F-20. I start sending out my R60s at this point because I don't know what else to do. Luckily, we get a connection there. And as I turn back into this fight, I'm doing my best not to pull too hard. I want to keep that speed. I want to keep the option to run away and get away from this cluster of enemies if I need to. We get another nice R60 shot on the F4S. He completely doesn't flare again, and we see an opportunity for the F18 that we saw earlier. Send out the R27. We've punched a very nice hole in the enemy team here. We flew into a group of 4 and we killed 3 of them. This is a good spot for us to be in. As we move back in, we notice this MiG-21 Bison. He looks like he's trying to speed back to base. For whatever reason, maybe he's running out of guns, maybe he's running out of missiles, maybe he's running out of fuel. Either way, we get on his 6. We try to send some radar gun-guided shots at him. They don't work. The R60s, sadly, are going to chase his flares all day, every day. So we're just stuck on his 6 for now. We are faster than him. We've got the fuel to keep chasing him. Once we get a little bit closer and he pitches his nose up a little bit, send another spray, move the mouse over his plane. He disassembles just like that. It's at this point that I note that we're actually in a 2v2 situation now. The net's my team below me. We have what looks like a MiG-21 Bison and another target to deal with on the enemy team. What follows is a fairly interesting dogfight. Start closing the gap. My intention is to tie up this first target as fast as I can, with the hopes that his teammate is a long way away. No such luck for me. We see both MiG-21 Bisons now appear. I elect to target the one on the right. Looks like my teammate is swung right as well. Hopefully we can put one out of the game and deal with the other one nice and quickly. These MiG-21 Bisons, you need to respect them. Their armament is serious, and the MiG-21 Bison airframe, whilst not as good as the MiG-29, is still a deadly, deadly plane in the right hands. And then the net sends out a missile at him, it doesn't connect. I'm now on his 6, I send our last R60. However, he's ready with the flares. Looks like it's going to come down to guns. I'm running very low on ammo at this point, and I'm very conscious of that. Only 48 rounds left. Sadly, we don't connect any shots there. He's now turning with us. Another miss, so close. We're rolling with him now, struggling to keep control. The other MiG-21 Bison sends a missile at us, and it just misses us. Did not expect that. Respect to Stone TV, that was a phenomenal kill. However, Stone TV pays for the kill that he got on me, and he gets wiped out by our teammate, leaving the nets in a 1v1 with the other MiG-21 Bison who I was fighting earlier. In a dogfight, the net should handily beat the Bison, quite frankly, and that's exactly what we see. Well played, Hypernoise. GG. Well guys, if you're still here, thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to say a big thank you again for the response to the previous video, the likes and the comments, etc. I'm a small content creator, this stuff is massive, every little bit helps, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Any suggestions, any pointers on how to improve the videos, or if there's a particular plane that you want to see me fly, please do let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching guys, fly safe.